Hey, what's going on, you guys? John here. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to take your credit score to 800. I'm going to give you all the information that you need, everything. 2020 rules, so you can take this score to 800 or greater in roughly 30 days. And why I'm doing this, I think we're going to step into a huge recession. I'm talking massive in the next 3 to 9 months. And the reason I say this is early March, we started this lockdown. So people weren't working March. Not April either, and May still not working. Most Americans have less than $400 in the bank. Less than $400 in the bank. So what does this mean? People are waiting on stimulus checks to survive. Okay, a lot of them did not get stimulus checks. So then what happens? Then we look at how is the US economy supported? We have 30,200,000 small businesses in America. Huge, it supports the entire economy. And these small businesses, they qualified for mortgages and bought rental properties, bought single family houses, and they bought it off of the income they were earning from their small business. And now what happens? Now the renters that they had are no longer paying rent. The employees, they're renters, they're not working, they're not paying rent. And so what's gonna happen? It takes roughly 90 days for a default to show as a mortgage, on your mortgage. So if they had, say, one mortgage payment or two mortgage payments in savings, let's just say that they were above the median $400, well, that would mean that in May, they start defaulting. So by May, June, July, we'll start to see August, September, and so on. So I'm saying roughly 3 to 9 months, we're gonna start seeing a wave of inventory, a ton of inventory hit the market. And the smart investors, they have cash and they have credit. A great movie scene is this right here.
He plays fast and big, and he has the cash and the credit to turn out your lights.
And that's how important credit is. That's how important credit is. So I'm gonna teach you what you need to know to take your credit score to that 800. Before I do, smash the like button, just destroy it, annihilate it. Consider subscribing, and I'm gonna give you all the tools, all the tips, everything you need to know to get yourself to that top 1%. Because all it takes, I'm telling you, all it takes is one good deal. And if you are like most people, you've been waiting to buy a piece of property, waiting because the prices are too high, the deals didn't make sense, and you just weren't in the right spot at the time. But now we're gonna be stepping into a new economy. I'm talking an economy where properties are priced substantially lower than you probably have ever seen. Some people are saying it's gonna be way worse than the 2008, 2009 financial crisis. So it's just gonna be absolutely terrible for a lot of people. However, the people with credit, they're gonna be the ones that banks wanna lend to because they're gonna be really careful about who they're lending money to. And the reason being is because banks are taking substantial losses on a lot of loans. So they wanna make sure that the loans they're gonna be giving are gonna be good quality loans to good borrowers. They don't wanna take on unnecessary risk. So what's gonna happen? If you have credit, say 600, 650, you're gonna have to go to a different lender and they're gonna charge you more interest. And you might say, okay, well, just a little bit more interest. But the numbers that you pay, the way it breaks down is unbelievable. I'm gonna show you that in this video, show you how important credit is. So let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the data, look at the facts, and then you can be the judge of how important it is to have A1 credit. Let's say you were to go buy a median price property in America between $250,000 and $300,000. You took out a mortgage of $200,000. Your credit score is 760 or greater. You would save $185 per month every single month over the 30-year mortgage. So 360 months times $185 is over $66,000 in interest that you would save over the borrower who has credit between 620 and 639. You literally could take a trip around the world every single year for the first 12 years, a $5,000 budget on each trip. You fly to Europe, you get there and you can bounce around from country to country very inexpensively, maybe $150, $200 per flight. Think about that. You're traveling the world all in saved interest. Or you could use the money, go invest it in your education, go buy another property, go do something, but don't waste it and give it to the banks when it's so easy to repair your credit and get it to where it needs to be. So never ever cancel out your credit card, ever. And the reason being is that credit card utilization, that line of credit that was issued to you, banks see that and they use that as a gauge to how trustworthy you are as a borrower. So if you have a $20,000 limit and a $40,000 limit on this card, and you have all these credit lines issued to you and you're not utilizing them, it looks like you have control, like you have financial intelligence, that you're not over leveraged, that you're not a risky borrower. So always, always, always pay off your cards on time. And did you know that the typical 800 credit score borrower only keeps a revolving credit line using 5% of the credit he's using or she's using? And so why do they do that? They do that to keep the cards active, and they do that to keep the utilization, the big credit line out, active. So they'll use it for gas or maybe a cell phone bill, but they pay the bill on time and they just keep that 5%. They keep the 5% open. So don't be the borrower that is over leveraged to the gills to where you owe 50, 60, 70, 80% on a credit card. Because what happens is that you get locked in that endless cycle of a 20 or 25% interest rate to where your minimum payments are only servicing interest. So you're never actually hitting the principal debt. So number one is be very responsible with your credit. Be responsible with how you utilize your credit. Don't over leverage, and keep a 5% balance on your cards, and always push for more credit. So when you speak with Chase or Bank of America, whichever bank that you bank with, ask them to increase your credit line. Ask them to increase that line and really just get it there just to prove your legitimacy as a borrower. It'll really help you out and it'll really pay dividends. So the Federal Trade Commission did a survey and found 1 in 5 Americans has either a judgment, a default, or a delinquency on their credit score. And what's happened now is they're suffering with a lower credit score at no fault of their own. So what you want to do first and foremost when you begin this credit repair building, or maybe you're just starting from scratch, is you want to go online. I use Credit Karma. You could use whichever platform you feel most comfortable, but make sure it's a legitimate one and check your credit score. See if there's something on your credit score right now that's holding you back from having that credit score that you want to achieve. If you cannot afford to have a 5% balance and you do have some debt, always keep that debt around 30% or less. 30% or less is really going to help you. Also, if you're looking to advance your credit score, but you just can't get the credit, Chase Bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they don't want to issue you a further credit line. What you can do, which is really creative, is become an authorized user on someone else's account. So if your mom and dad have great credit, ask for them to put you on as an authorized user. You don't need the card, you don't need any control or any rights on the account, but you just being associated with them helps you so much, and it builds your credit score. So this is a great way to build credit that not many people know about. So look for someone that you know, like, and trust, and that know, likes, and trusts you and loves you ideally, to want to, make that phone call their bank and put you on as an authorized user. And again, you don't need any type of control. You don't need a card. You don't need anything from them. You're not going to use the account. You're simply just basically standing on the shoulder of giants, as they say. If right now you have very bad credit, 600 or less, what I would recommend you to do is take a very, very hard look at your delinquencies or judgments, defaults, whatever it may be, and ask yourself, what is the smart plan of attack to increase my score? I could call the bureaus individually and try to negotiate with them, try to negotiate with my creditors and increase my score that way. That's one way it could possibly work. Another way to look at this is that there are trained professionals that do this for a living. Very reputable companies out there. And you can call them and ask them to give you a free overview on your account. Give them your social security number, have them look up all of your information, see where you stand, and then get a realistic picture of what it would look like for you to clean up your score. So if you need to increase your score by 100 points and you have these judgments you need to remove, it might make sense for you to say, I'll give you $100 to start the file. And when everything is removed and we get the score to X, I'm gonna give you the remaining portion owed. And so a lot of companies will do this, especially now. A lot of companies are kind of hurting for cash, so this might be a really good time to hire a very top-notch company to increase your credit score. That is what I would do. I mean, I always look at things from two different perspectives. That's why I won't cut my grass and I won't do things like that, is because I ask myself, how much is my time worth versus is it better for me to hire someone that could do a better job, and I could then focus more on generating more income, on building my business, on building more equity in whatever it is that I'm doing. So that is always my number one priority, is I want to delegate to a professional and stay in my lane and focus and grow and scale inside of what I specialize in. So that is what I would recommend for you to do. If it's way outside of your control, if your credit problem has gotten to such a bad level, I would really suggest speaking to a credit repair specialist, someone that has a lot of experience and a tremendous track record. Find someone reputable, someone honest, someone that you like, and I would go that route. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much.
The system broken, the schools closed, the prisons open. We ain't got nothing to lose, everybody we roll.